On your podcast, you've done basically 1,200 episodes. How do you keep them under 10 minutes or 12 minutes? How do you do that?
Well, it starts with my attention span. As a listener, I like short episodes. So I fast forward through all the fluff on the front end and all the garbage on the back end, and I just dive into the meat. And so I constructed it that way. First thing I do is I make sure that I have a specific topic that my guest is going to talk about. One technology, one key point, one key idea, or if I'm doing my What Went Wrong series, one mistake they're going to talk about. So that sets the tone on the front end. This is what we're going to talk about, and it keeps it focused. The second thing is I prepare my guests. I tell them during the pre-show, this is a 10-minute show. And I watch the shock register on their face because they just panic. I'm like, don't worry about it. We can do this. The way that this works is you've got to think in sound bites. You have to come up for air. You don't worry about the time. Don't even give it a thought. I'm going to manage the time, and I do. All you have to do is I'll ask you a question, answer it, and then breathe. So I can ask the next question. And if we're getting close to conclusion, weave it around to an ending place. And those things really help. And quite honestly, in the 1,200 episodes that I've done, and some my early ones were 30 minutes. You know, I thought of it like as internet radio back when I started in 2010. What I learned is that a lot of people can't maintain that energy, don't have enough content. And so that's why I went to this. But where I was going with that is in the 1,200 episodes, I've only had to stop 2 guests. I've only had to interrupt 2 of them and say, whoa, we got to stop here. And I'm always really nice, you know, and I won't tell you, one of the 2 was recently, and I had to stop her because she was monologuing. She wasn't breathing. And she was way off topic. And so I stopped her and I said, I want this to be good for you. I want this to be the best representation of you. And it's not working right now. Here are 2 or 3 things you can do. Let's take it again. And she took it really well. And the end product is really good. But I try to do that in the pre-show.
When is the pre-show?
Oh, right before the show.
Okay. And how long do you book to have a 10-minute call with somebody?
I normally book 30 minutes. I usually spend 5 to 10 minutes up front, kind of going over, here's how this works. And I hope that my guests are good guests. I hope that they have listened to a few of the episodes so that they get the flow. You're a podcast host. You know this to be true. Most guests don't. So I kind of, take them through that. Usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. Usually takes 10 to 11 minutes to record it. And 5 minutes for download, cleanup, wrap up. Here's when we can expect the episodes. This is what you're going to get from me. And we're done.
Okay. 5 or 10 minutes to get prepared. 10 or 11 minutes on the recording. And then while you're still on with that person, you go and figure out when their episode's going to be launched.
Well, I have a schedule. I already know. So I just pull up the spreadsheet while the episode is downloading and processing and doing whatever it does. I'm like, okay, so you're scheduled for October 8th and I'll send you some shorts. I'm going to send you some, video, full length video. And here's about when you can expect it. And then you'll get links when the show goes live to any of the pieces I can't link to until it goes live.
How do you systemize all that back-end stuff? Do you have somebody editing for you? Are you sending these links out, or is it part of some CRM that automatically sends things?
So when I ran my agency and I was doing a lot of other things and the podcast was the sideline, I had a team that did everything. recorded it and said, oh, go figure this out. And when I sold the business, I've taken a lot of that back on. What I've also gotten to with this show, with my audience, I do a very light touch on the editing. I rarely change a lot of what someone says unless the conversation sounds like, and I did this and like, and beside the fact that my ears start bleeding, unless I've got that, I really just do a very light touch. I download the transcript so I can read and very quickly pick out, oh, I got to be at 2 minutes and 36 seconds to fix this. If something happens during the recording where there's something that I know that I want to take out, I'll just make a note on my notepad, while we're talking, of the timestamps. So it's a very light touch on the edit. It's a very light touch on the video edit. I find that YouTube, the more authentic it is, the better it does. And then I use Opus Clips to do all my little clips and sound bites. And I usually like to get 2 to 3. And again, I have a standard template that I use on Canva that I drop the clips into. I have standard social shares that I upload the person's face into. I actually lean on ChatGPT to write my episode summaries. And it's gotten pretty good. I gave it, when I first started using ChatGPT, I gave it 3 articles that I wrote that were very much my voice, my style. And I said, this is who is writing. I want you to write a description for ChatGPT as if another AI tool was going to write for me, define my voice. And I was stunned with how good the description was.